Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Becky, and if you're new here then welcome and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. In today's video I'm going to show you how to propagate your green houseplants by water rooting them. So this isn't something that can be used on all houseplants, but it can be used on a lot of them, and it is a super easy way to propagate your plants, repot them, and you can fill your home with more plants or even give them as a gift to a friend this spring and summer. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink and let's get on with the video. Okay guys, so for this video you are going to want some little glass jars. So I use leftover jam jars, this is a leftover goo pot, anything along those lines. You're going to want your plant that is ready to propagate. So with this is kind of like a little succulent, and you can see all these little babies that have been sprouting off of it this spring so far. It has just gone absolutely crazy. So it's about time that I started separating them so this mama plant can be repotted with some fresh compost and allowed to grow a bit bigger. You can also do it with spider plants when they grow the little sprouting bits off the end. If I have like a photo of one of mine, then I'll insert it here or here. They're really easy, you just take them off once they get some little nodes, pop them in some water or pop them straight into some moist soil. They root really quickly. Similarly, you can do it with snake plants. So I've already separated this one. And these are really easy to do. You can either cut them and root them in water and they'll start rooting, and then you can plop them in some soil, or if they start having like a little baby plant, this one doesn't, this is just a singular one now, but if they do start getting a second like stem coming through, you can separate them and just put those straight into soil. They don't need water propagation. It's kind of things like these succulents, Chinese money plants, all that kind of stuff where you're taking a cutting that is going to do really well with water propagation. I've also done this method with my mini monstera. If you want a video on how I did that, please do let me know down in the comments below. But for today's video, I just thought I'd show you the basics of how I do it, and you can kind of copy and paste this across all your plants. So without further ado, we'll get started. So with this one, you can either, if you can get really close to where the baby plant is growing out of, you can just kind of go in and pull it off like that. So it's got a nice clean base and you can see what it looks like that. I've also done it with one here. Or you could either uproot it and see if there's any ones growing into the roots and then pull it out like that. So first of all, we'll do these. So you can either pull them off, or if they're a bit harder, just get a nice sharp clean knife. Make sure it's clean and sterilised because you don't want to put any germs or like fungus or any bacteria onto your plant as it's trying to root, because we don't want to risk getting it like infected with anything. Then you're going to want to get a wooden toothpick. You don't have to use this with like my Chinese money plants. I can just kind of like latch them over the side of the dish and then they'll hold on as long as the roots are in the water or the base is in the water. But for these it's a bit harder. So what I'll normally do sometimes is just stick a toothpick through them just so they can like rest in the top of the water but they're not fully submerged, they don't start rotting. So what we're going to do is just fill this with some water. You don't want them touching the bottom because I don't think the roots are going to want to grow if it feels like there's some resistance against them. So if you kind of measure on your toothpick, and then I'm just going to slide it through some of the leaves. It doesn't matter if you break one of the leaves because it'll grow some more. Just make sure they're at the same height, and then you can just balance it in the water like that, but you don't want them too submerged in water that they're going to start rotting. And then once you're happy that they're not touching the base, just leave them in a really nice sunny spot. Change the water probably once a week to make sure it still has its oxygen in it, and then hopefully you should start to see some little root nodules forming. And then as soon as you've got some roots, get some nice fresh compost, stick them in, And there you go, you've got your brand new plant. If you wanted a bushy plant, stick a few together. Obviously it depends kind of what plant you're doing it with. And you're good to go. With my mini monstera when I did it got one long root forming in it in the water, and I let it form for quite a bit in the water, and then I dug down quite deep in some compost, put the compost over it and set it in nice and firm. And when you are transferring it to like your compost in your soil, make sure that you're keeping that really nice and moist just to allow the roots to set. So I'm going to put these on the side in some sun and hopefully they should start rooting. Obviously I'm not going to be able to show you how they root in this video because unless it was like magical water, they're not going to root in the time that it's taken me to film this. What I am going to do is take my little stones off of here and I'm going to put some fresh soil in here and take off all the other baby ones. Now obviously if you don't mind getting your sides dirty, that's fine, you can do it inside. If you do mind, I'd probably take this outside because it's going to get quite mucky. I'll bend you down so you should be able to see a bit better what I'm doing now. So I'm just going to gently ease it out. If you feel any resistance, don't pull it, just take it out gently because you don't want to damage any of the roots. So you can see this root has formed really far down. Now this hasn't been repotted since last spring, so it's going to be due some fresh nutrients to help it grow. And you can see all these baby plants that have started rooting off of it. So I'm just going to clear out this root. And we're just going to help it breathe again a little bit. Now what I have in mind is I'm going to get rid of some of these that are dying at the bottom. I really want to create like a rectangular planter. I might try and do it with some air drying clay and then put some sealant in it. It's going to be plant friendly because I think this is going to look really cute on the windowsill with like a few of the new ones side by side. So it's in like a nice long plant pot. So I'm going to break off, oh that one came off a bit too easy, I didn't get all of that off. I'm just going to start breaking off some of these babies. Now there are probably some professional gardeners who are watching me like, what on earth is she doing? That is not how you do it. But this is stuff that has worked for me. I wouldn't call myself a gardener, but I do definitely have, touch wood, I don't want to ruin it, a green thumb. My houseplants absolutely thrive. All the ones that I've got spider plants, snake plants, Chinese money plants, string of pearls, mini monsteras, Areca palms, these succulents. I've got your traditional succulents, cacti. So all quite easy green house plants to look after. I'm breaking off some of these leaves because I don't necessarily need all of these, but I like to take these in as gifts around the office as well. We like to have a nice good amount of plants in our office, so everyone's gonna love these. They're also really good if you're doing like a charity fundraiser. So you could like propagate them and then sell them as houseplants to people. I'm going to take off some of these base leaves so I can plant it a bit deeper again. I'm honestly going to get so many babies off of this. I'm not even sure kind of what type of succulent this is. A few of my friends have just moved into like new houses and new apartments as well. So these are going to make really nice housewarming gifts. Also with things like spider plants, they're animal friendly and child friendly, and they're really good air purifiers. So with spider plants, I give them to a lot of my friends who are having babies to put in the nursery to help purify the air for the baby to sleep. Okay, so I've taken off all the little baby stems from here. And then what I do like to do is keep a bit of the existing soil and compost in the plant pot, so it's not a complete shock to the plant. A bit like if you get like a fish, you always put a bit of the existing water in with the new water that you're going to add them to, just so it's not so much of a shock to their system, and that seems to have worked for me. Obviously wear gloves if you don't want to end up with like loads of soil down your nails. Just making sure I've got all the little stones out. Generally with succulents, I try and get quite like a pebbly soil or compost, just so it doesn't get as waterlogged easily. And put some like stones at the bottom as well. Get all these out. This plant pot also was just from TK Maxx. I pretty much get all my compost. My plant pots from TK Maxx. I did get a really cute one from a charity shop there the other day, and it was only £1, which was really nice. Okay, so I've got all that out. So what I'm going to do is fill this with some fresh compost, and then I'll show you how I repot this, and then we'll pot all these into Propagate as well, like I did the other ones. Okay, so I've refilled this. I'm just going to pop some of this back in and mix it. And then when I'm happy with that, I do just have a bit of Grow Sure plant food. I never normally add this, but because we are in the growing season, I'm just going to add a little bit to the soil just to add some more nutrients to it. Normally you mix this in with water to like water the plants, but I just want to add it to the soil. Again, this probably isn't the right way to do it, but it's a way that works for me, and I've had a lot of success with it, so hopefully you guys will too. And it's just really easy and simple to do. So once I've done that, now I don't know whether this particular plant could root by itself in the soil if it was moist enough. I suppose we could give it a go. This one's got some tiny little roots on it already, because this was one of the base plants. So I might plant some fresh ones in here and put this one in here. No, I'll do these as water propagation. Okay, so now that I've got all my fresh soil and I've got this lovely, nice, clean root structure, just make sure it's not too knotted at the base. That's all looking fine. So, because this has got a really long root in it, I'm going to just go in with the back of my spoon, and I'm just going to dig a nice deep hole that I can like feed that into. So I don't know if you can see, but I've got a really nice deep hole there. And I'm just going to place my freshly done roots into there, and then I'm just going to start pushing the soil back round. You might need to add some more soil as you're compressing it, or compost, just because it's obviously going to go lower than you probably originally thought it was going to, like that. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with my top rocks. This is more of an aesthetic thing. I don't really do this for any particular reason other than I think it looks nice. It does thrive well in really well lit, like warm conditions though. So I have it in my kitchen because we have a lot of nice natural light in here and it gets really warm. Just going to place those round. This also helps prevent the bottom kind of like leaves from touching the moist soil too much, and it prevents them from rotting, so it just keeps the plant nice and healthy. Right, so I've just stuck all that back in there. Now this is a very basic plant pot, but it's a nice terracotta material, so I think in one of my next videos I'm going to show you how to paint this and just freshen it up a bit, because it was on clearance and it does have a few chips in it, but for the time being it does its job. And you can see that this plant is looking a lot less crowded now. We've taken all these babies off of it. I mean, from that one plant I already have another one at home as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 babies from it. So that is a lot. So this one kind of has a ledge, so we can just kind of rest that into the water. Oh no, it's sunk. And then once they have rooted in the water, oh, I keep standing on bits of soil. Once they have rooted in the water, all you're then going to want is just some little plastic plant pots. Fill those with compost and let them root in here, and then put them into any kind of planter that you want and create your own little display. So this is now really messy, so I'm going to clean this up. Hopefully that was a really easy way to show you how to propagate your plants in water. Like I said, this is kind of universal. So with my mini monstera, just make sure you're cutting it so many nodes away from like the mother plant. And then all you need to do is do it around about now, so it's in its growing season. I stick it in a really long vase. Keep the water fresh, change it every week. That's quite essential when you are rooting. Just make sure that the oxygen stays in the water, and then gradually you'll see roots forming. The fastest that I've seen this done with is my Chinese money plant. Honestly, that is a very fertile plant, and as soon as I put it into water, I'm getting long roots within a week and I can plant it. I'm not sure how long this will take, so I'll keep you posted, and I might do another video once they're ready to plant, and then I can show you. We'll do a part 2. So if you have enjoyed this video, guys, and you want to see more videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button also. Your support means the world to me, and I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye!